Good morning. Elvis has left the house.
Good morning.
He had another one, too, which was perfect.
Oh, my God. He was fantastic yesterday. Oh, just
I want to hear that clip. That was so
fantastic.
not on purpose.
No, it was not on purpose. He didn't.
I'm so happy it happened, too.
He blundered.
I've never loved Trump more than dumb Tim Cook sitting there having to take it.
Do you want to? I think we should look at the video on that one.
Okay, you got it.
Because I think that Tim Cook having to act like he didn't hear. So yesterday,
CEO of Apple.
And it's just so funny because we were talking about him just yesterday and what a waste he is.
Yeah.
But yesterday there was some business meeting, and go to 2650, I believe, Troy Kwan. There was some business meeting, and Trump was sitting up there with a lot of well-respected people who have done a lot of stuff for this country. It was President Trump, and they're in the White House, and on each side, on his left side, is the beautiful Ivanka Trump, and on the right side is the gorgeous Tim Cook from Apple.
She is lovely, isn't she?
Oh, my God, she's incredible. I sat behind her once at a press conference for WrestleMania 23. You know, the WrestleMania where Donald Trump took a Stone Cold Stunner in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
Greatest thing he's ever done.
Yeah.
But I sat right behind Ivanka and saw her in person. She is a knockout.
Yeah, she is.
My God, it's like crazy. But Tim Cook is sitting right next to him at this table, and the Donald wants to thank him and give him his props for everything that he's doing for America. And this is what it sounded like yesterday.
And people like Tim, you're expanding all over and doing things that I really wanted you to do right from the beginning. I used to say, Tim, you got to start doing it over here, and you really have. I mean, you've really put a big investment in our country. We appreciate it very much, Tim Apple.
Tim Apple. That's so uncomfortable.
That's not his name.
Tim Apple.
Tim Apple.
Tim Applehead.
Applehead.
Applehead. Tim Applehead.
Tim Apple.
Tim Apple.
Like
Apple Files. Apple Tim.
Do you just have such a one-track brain that you're just thinking, okay, Tim works for Apple. Tim works for Apple. Thank you, Tim Apple.
Tim couldn't be more. He hates Trump. You could tell.
Yeah, he's got every reason to. And then Trump calls him Tim Apple. He's not even one of the founders of Apple.
No.
He took over as CEO after Steve Apple passed away from cancer.
Yeah, from apoptotic cancer.
That's right. Yeah, if anybody gets the Apple last name, it should be Steve Apple Niak and the two Steves.
Yeah, Steve
Apple and Steve Apple.
Yeah.
Right, Tim would even sit next to him.
Well, it's the president. You can't.
Yeah, it's the president. I'm sure Apple gets some pretty nice tax breaks.
Yeah.
I don't think. I'm sure socially, Tim disagrees with
Everything, yeah.
everything that Trump says. But on a business level, I'm sure that Apple enjoys quite a bit of assistance from the government. They talk about how Amazon pays like no taxes and makes billions of dollars every year. These big companies, they like their positioning. The last thing that they want to do is shake the waters at all. Especially if you're so valuable to the company that the company is actually named after you.
That's right.
Tim Apple.
Yeah.
What do we call this company? I don't know, but the guy who doesn't work here right now but could be CEO one day after you die, Steve Jobs, Tim Apple. He's a pretty good guy. Do you want to name it after him?
Sure.
Should we name the company Apple after this guy I know, Tim Apple?
It sounds a lot better than Cook came out with a new iPhone.
That's true.
Yeah.
I
like the Cook Pod.
Yeah. Wait, did you get one of those new Cook computers?
Yeah.
What?
You got a Cook Pad?
Nah, it's too confusing.
Tim Apple.
That's great.
Yeah. There was a clip from I think a couple years ago that he called a woman from, I think, Lockheed Martin. Was that it? He called her like Sue.
Betty Plain?
No, I think he called her like Sue Lockheed or something. Like it was along the exact same lines of this.
Yeah, he called her Marilyn Lockheed.
Marilyn Lockheed. He must have mental exercises, because you can see sometimes that when he's out there talking, and he does such a good job of just filling time. He's very good at ad-libbing, but I think that when there's certain things that he actually has to remember, he must have little mental exercises that he does to memorize things, because he thinks about himself constantly. So when he's got to think about other people, he must have little mental cues that go on in his head so he doesn't forget things.
Right.
And one of them is probably, okay, Marilyn Lockheed. Marilyn Lockheed. This is Marilyn Lockheed. Yeah, listen to this. This is
What's
from,
her real name?
I don't know.
Anything but Lockheed?
It's definitely not Lockheed. Her name. What's her name?
Hewson.
Hewson. It's not Lockheed.
Close.
Yeah. That's like, well, you know what? He named it. What's the name of Donald Trump's company?
I see where you're going.
Trump.
Exactly.
He probably assumes that everybody does that.
Yeah, that's right. Good point. Yeah.
He's like, that's how you know who's
Ford.
who.
Ford was Ford, yeah.
Exactly. Although I don't think the current CEO of Ford is also named Ford.
No.
But he figures if you're going to put the name in big letters on top of something, it's got to be your name.
Sure.
Why else would you do it?
Colonel Electric started the company and then gave himself a little boost in the title.
That's right.
To General.
That's right. To General Electric.
I could see your embarrassment as you were saying that.
He's a military man.
Yep. I am a little embarrassed.
You should be.
Yep.
You should be.
We have some of our great business leaders and leaders, period, right behind me. I may ask Marilyn Lockheed.
Put a little flair on it, Lockheed.
You know, a lot of people, the company is called Lockheed but Lockheed is how you would pronounce the actual last name. Is that right, Marilyn? No, that's not correct, President Trump. I see.
Did she correct him?
I don't think she did.
No one corrects the president.
No, I mean, let him do his thing.
Yeah.
You know, if he wants to call me Marilyn Lockheed, that'd be like if he said, of course, you know, Jim Comedy Cellar.
Yeah. And Scott Sirius down the hall.
Yeah, I think so.
It's funny that there's not any embarrassment whatsoever.
Oh, no.
With Trump. That's what he'll just like. You'd think he would go, "Don't fuck this up again. You fucked it up before."
He didn't care.
Nope.
No, because he'll go like this. Yeah, I know. That's not his name.
Yeah.
And then he'll move like that's and anybody that's reporting that I thought maybe Tim Cook's name was Tim Apple because he's the CEO of Apple, that's fake and presidential harassment. By the way, that's what that is. It's presidential harassment. And let's keep it moving because I'm doing great things. The unemployment numbers are way down, especially black unemployment, way down. You're going, what does that have to do with? You just called Tim Cook Tim Apple.
Yeah. Although if Tim corrected him, he probably would have just said, "Oh, you know."
Yeah, I know.
He would have handled it.
Of course he would have. Because Donald Trump doesn't blink. Like, if there's one thing that he can do, it's put out the image of what he wants Donald Trump to be.
But he probably would have done the same thing you just said. He probably, if Tim would have said, "Oh, it's Tim Cook," he probably would, "Oh, that's right. I forgot everybody doesn't name their companies after themselves." He would have said something off the cuff.
I doubt he would have been that clever.
Maybe not that clever.
I think he would have just lied because he would never admit that he didn't know.
You know, what do you think he'd say? I was just joking.
Or he'd go like this, Tim Apple. And he'd go, Tim Cook. And he'd go, no, I know, Tim Apple, you work for Apple. And just move out, like, keep it moving. You know what I mean? He wouldn't actually come up with a suitable excuse. It's just, keep it moving. Move on to the next thing.
You don't think he'd stop and do a little self-deprecation?
No. Keep it moving.
All right.
You know how you can tell that Donald Trump is not a giant fan of self-deprecation? He decided to be the only president who doesn't go to those press dinners.
Yeah.
You know, when they bring out, what are those called?
White House Correspondents' Dinners?
White House Correspondents' Dinners.
Yeah.
He doesn't go to them because he doesn't like being teased. He says it's because he doesn't like the press, but he doesn't like jokes about him. Remember when they did the White House Correspondents' Dinner?
Seth Meyers was hilarious.
And he was sitting at the table. He wasn't even the president. And he was like, Seth Meyers is sitting there making jokes about Trump. And Trump is like, well, fuck this. I can't wait to be president, so I don't show up to these things ever.
And then Obama smashed him.
Yeah, he did. And Trump didn't like it. The roast of Donald Trump. He just kind of sat there going like, okay. Like he knew he had to. He was getting paid. But he didn't like it.
I wasn't on that one. Voss was on that one.
Was he?
That's the night I met Trump, yeah. I was with Voss.
Oh, you were his date?
Yeah, Melania was there too. She looks so good.
Trump surrounds himself with beautiful women.
Oh, does he?
That's one thing. These beautiful women, man, they really will put up with a lot of nonsense if you're Donald Trump. You would think, you know, for average guys like us, maybe slightly below average guys like some of us, you go, oh, man, how do you get these beautiful women? They seem so unattainable. You have to have something to say. You have to be interesting, you know what I mean? You have to be worldly. And then you get this guy that's going like, oh, this is Tim Apple. He works for Apple, so it must be Tim Apple. And he's just got beautiful women around him all the time.
I'm Jim Hilarious.
Why would they call you that? Action! That's not fair.
That's not what I meant to hit.
I figured. That brings it all together.
Thank you.
That's good stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Quality stuff.
Let's go to Sean in North Carolina. What's up, Sean?
It'd be great if Trump ever met the president of Massengill. I'd like to thank Jeff Douchebag for being here today.
Yeah, I think that's great. Thank you, Sean. It's amazing. And it's amazing the stuff that sticks. All night last night, one of the number one trends on all social media was Tim Apple.
People noticed it?
People loved it. I mean, just loved it. Because, I mean, it's fun. It's the greatest thing ever. When the president goes and calls him Tim Apple.
They're friends? Maybe they are friends.
I mean, I don't know if they're... You think they're friends?
It says on Mashable, Trump calls his friend and Apple CEO Tim Cook Tim Apple.
I mean, they're probably associates.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know if they're friends.
Tim Apple.
I think if they were friends, you probably know his name was Tim Cook, not Tim Apple.
Well, he might have made a mistake.
Would you ever see yourself making a mistake like that?
100%.
You could see that.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Travis said.
Well, that was during the last episode of Nitro, correct?
I should just shut up.
That one.
I'm just bombing left and right.
Yeah.
Shut my mouth.
It'll be a long day.
It's going to be a long one.
That's okay. We're
12 minutes in and 2 fucking Hiroshima bombs in a row.
We got some extra help coming in today. Don't worry. We'll carry you through to the end.